In addition to showing next-strain views like this, we can also tell the narrative to display static content that we write in Markdown in this right-hand panel. For example, we might want to precede this slide with another slide that introduces concepts of phylogenetic to the reader before showing data in next-strain. Next, we'll create such a slide and show how we can add content in Markdown both in the left panel and the right panel, including how to add static figures in the right-hand panel to supplement your views in next-strain. We can return to our next-strain narrative document and click the Edit button. Now we can add a new slide that precedes the first slide in the same way that we created the original slide, by creating a Markdown header and then adding a link here. This link syntax tells next-strain that this header corresponds to a new slide in the narrative. In this case, we'll create a header that's called Introduction to Phylogenetic. And we have to provide a link address here, but it doesn't matter what that link is. So we're going to use the default dataset link for the narrative. Next, within this section, within this slide, we can add some content that will be displayed in the left-hand panel. We can make some lists. And then we can say we'd like to add content to the right-hand panel. To do this, we need to use a special syntax that uses the code block syntax from Markdown, and then adds a special key that lets next-strain know that this content should be displayed in the right-hand panel. This key is auspice main display Markdown. The contents of this code block will be interpreted by next-strain as Markdown. So in here we can add additional information, like we can add our own title, Introduction to Phylogenetic, and we can create section headers like Introduction to Disease Transmission and Introduction to Phylogenetics. We can add content to each of these sections, and all of this will be displayed as Markdown on the right-hand panel. If we select the preview button here, we can see our left-hand panel content is rendered as expected, but our right-hand panel content is rendered as a code block. This is because GitHub and most Markdown editors won't know that this content represents a right-hand panel, but next-strain knows that that's what it means. So we can commit our changes by clicking the green button, and we can return back to our narrative and refresh to see the new slide. Here's our new slide, taking the place of the original slide, with our header for the left-hand panel, and the content for the left-hand panel, and then the corresponding content we added for the right-hand panel. You can write as much text as you like here, and treat this as a full web page that is supplementing the view that you want to show in next-strain next.